Welcome back to The Watch. And Tyrant, why do people, specifically Hollywood, hate masculinity?
I don't know, but they say it's not because of wokeness, but it seems to have the end result.
Exactly. They're trying to say, we're doing it because we're making fun of it.
Yeah, which doesn't really make sense.
And it also only seems to go one way, where masculinity, fine to be made fun of, but if there's the slightest joke against femininity...
And it's also when you have to specifically say, this isn't a woke thing. This isn't a woke thing. It's like, oh, really?
It's kind of an acknowledgement that there's something happening in Hollywood that everyone is a bit pissed off at by now.
What are we talking about? And that would be Dungeons and Dragons. I was looking forward to this movie. Remember when the trailer came out and I said, I actually think this might be all right. I was wrong. Simple as that.
That excitement dead now?
Yeah, I just don't care now.
This has really killed it for me as well. Like it looked a bit too dumb for me anyway. Like, he shoots a sword.
Yes.
In the trailer.
There is a lot of dumb things. But I was thinking, maybe it could be fun, maybe a bit goofy,
goofy.
Something like that. But now I'm just like, why do you talk? Like, why do you have to open your mouth and say things? It's like with House of the Dragon, behind the scenes. The directors kept saying things that just made it worse. Stop saying things.
And you've got Chris Pine, right? Like, he's a really charismatic character, everything like that. And you're making him going to be the butt of everyone's joke.
Well, apparently he's okay with it. Apparently he was enjoying that.
When you're getting a big fat paycheck, like, actors are paid to be okay with things.
I can see that if you're getting paid that amount. Yeah. So there's an article recently that has come out on CBR. The Dungeons and Dragons movie intentionally emasculates its leading men. And there seems to be some quotes from the directors, and what they've been saying is pretty interesting.
Yes.
Would you like to read them verbatim, or?
I don't want to, but we will to share it with you guys.
Speaking with Variety, the directors they're talking about, we discussed how to have Michelle Rodriguez, Holga, the Barbarian, and Sophia Lillis, I don't know if that's right, the Druid lady, engage in frontline battle compared to their male party members. That was not an attempt at wokeness on our part, they say. Daly elaborated, saying, "Swear to God, it wasn't. We like that Holga is the bruiser that does the dirty work for Edgin?
Edgin, I think.
I don't know the Dungeons and Dragons name, sorry.
Neither do I. These are new to me.
And he doesn't like to get his hands dirty. We also love emasculating leading men." This is not an attempt at wokeness. This is not.
Like, how can you say that with, like, unironically?
I know.
Like, this is so just drippingly woke, right? And they say, we love emasculating leading men.
Yeah.
We also love emasculating leading men. The reasons that usually make someone enjoy doing that are woke reasons.
Well, they do say their reasons later in this article.
I'm interested to hear what
the reason is we like our male heroes to be challenged and not simply heroic.
But hang on. Being challenged is not, like, inherently connected with emasculating.
I know.
Like, what?
Because the example they give is just peak ridiculousness. The example that they also aim to do something similar to Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Robert Downey Jr. And here's Tony Stark from Spider-Man: Homecoming, which does not make sense.
I wasn't a fan of Homecoming.
Really? I thought it was all right for a new Spider-Man.
Oh, wait, hang on. I get them all mixed up.
Yeah.
Homecoming is the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, I was a fan of Homecoming. It was Far From Home and No Way Home.
Yes.
That's all the home.
Yeah. The first Spider-Man with Tony Stark in it was a good one. I liked that one.
It, yeah.
And I liked that he was mentoring him, and he did challenge him as a hero. He took away his suit and stuff like that.
But he wasn't emasculating in the first one.
That's what I mean. It doesn't make sense. This example doesn't make... You're not doing what you're saying.
Like, because when they say emasculate, suddenly you see all the signs in the trailer, whereas this kind of more effeminate goof.
I saw those signs in the trailer, but I put a block and thought, okay, they're probably just going to try and make him funny. A bit more of the jokes. And I was like, okay, that's probably where they go. But now that they've said that the whole movie's going to be...
It's clear that's the whole thing. Because there was you almost think, you have Chris Pine.
Yeah.
He's obviously... I was assuming he's going to have some badass moments, you'd think, right? Yeah. And they're only showing the stuff in the trailers...
The goofy aspects.
For comedy, where they're like, what do you do? I provide the thing and everything, and then there's what did you do there? And he's like, right? That's in the trailer.
That is in the trailer.
I thought that would just be the comedic effect, right?
So did I.
Now it seems very clear that's his character.
That is his character.
He's basically going to be useless apart from doing stupid things that is deprecating to himself and emasculating himself.
There's another quote I want to read from here because it is. I'll read it to you, and I just want you to. How stupid this is. After reiterating that the reasons did not pertain to woke thinking, the pair explained that they wrote the men that way because they find it funny and fresh. It's not funny, and it's really not fresh.
It's really not fresh. I was sick of it. It's happening again and again. It's the most common crap that's being just spewed out of Hollywood, emasculating male characters. Have a look at Wheel of Time. Have a look at flipping Halo. Have a look at Obi-Wan Kenobi. Have a look at friggin' nearly every single piece of crap that's coming out. It's like the other female characters like, oh, are those your testicles? Thanks, I'm keeping in my back pocket.
This is nice and fresh. He just rattled off a whole bunch of examples because it's, it's fresh. We don't have any other examples.
Yeah, so new. And then they find it funny, right?
Yeah, they do find it funny.
There's a reason you find it funny. It's because you're woke.
There's nothing wrong with making a character who's can be the butt of the jokes and be a man. This is fine.
But they said all the leading male characters, because there's another character that I was expecting them not to emasculate. It's the Paladin guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has a part in the trailer where he is supposedly kicks ass, and they're like, wow, he's tough.
Yeah.
But no, by what they're saying, they're going to go out of the way to emasculate him as well. And the people at the front lines is going to be the barbarian and the druid.
Yeah.
Okay.
It annoys me because I was actually looking forward to this. When the trailer first dropped, I know a lot of people called it right from the start and they weren't feeling. And you were one of them. You weren't feeling it right from the start.
I was like,
he wasn't. Me and the others were like, you know what, this doesn't look too bad. But now it's depressing. It really is.
And what's interesting, even then with me like being skeptical, I was willing to give it a go. I love D&D. Not the company, not Wizards of the Coast, not the current rule sets either, but I have a nostalgic love for D&D. And I also don't like where D&D has gone, where it's all been kind of modernized, you could say, where classic D&D, I associate it more with like Lord of the Rings, with, the classic character, or better yet, Dragonlance, okay? Where there was a seriousness to it, a gravity to it, and it had the classic elves, dwarves, humans interacting and everything, right? But now, they like don't like the traditional fantasy elements, and they want everyone playing a tiefling or a warforged.
And they want to rename things, they want to change things.
Exactly, and you can't have, like, evil, monstrous races, they're problematic, right? Like, D&D is becoming crap.
The way I describe it these days now, when we have creators going back and rewriting their own work, recontextualizing. That's the way I like to put it. It's code word for updating it for a modern audience.
Exactly, which means being woke.
Yeah,
just ruining it for agenda.
We've got this with The Last of Us. They are recontextualizing a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh boy, are they! Like I've checked out. I watched a couple of additional episodes past what we reviewed, and then I was done. It was clear. Writing was on the wall, so clear. Where this is just a vehicle for their politics and agenda. Yeah. And I don't want to be preached to.
Adding a whole bunch of things that were never in the game. Yeah. And things like that. That's where I said recontextualizing things. There is a last bit to this article where I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it.
We'll get to it. I was still kind of it frustrates me. So
funny and fresh. Funny and fresh.
So yeah, D&D has been going crap for ages, right? And even then, it's like, I really like Chris Pine. I like fantasy. Maybe they will be true to some of the tropes and things in D&D that we like. And so I was willing to still give it a go. Yeah. Now, it's dead on arrival for me.
It's not like you get D&D movies every
exactly.
Every
and our last treatment of a D&D movie will probably still be better than this one, honestly. It was bad, but I'll take that over woke crap.
Isn't that funny? Where all the terrible movies that people hated, now they look back and they go, maybe I was too harsh.
Do you know they even made some sequels to that D&D movie that no one's heard of?
No.
Yeah. Way lower budget. And I never finished it, but what I did watch out of one of the sequels it was really low budget, but it had the feel of D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, where they had an adventuring party searching after...
How low budget are we talking here? Like
pretty low.
Like to the point where it's like a fan film low?
No, not fan film, but like if you ever go on Amazon, you'll see some fantasy films that are... they have heart in them, but they're very low budget. Like
right, okay, so let's...
Mythica, have you heard of Mythica? I've never watched it.
Steven Seagal quality, shall we put it that way?
Yeah.
Okay, right, I can work with that.
Yeah. But anyway, the sequel actually had a good feel of Dungeons and Dragons in it, even though it was still pretty bad. So now, no interest. I'm not even sure we'll bother reviewing it. What do you like? I know everyone likes us to punish ourselves.
They do. It's one of those things where lately we just haven't had time to do a lot of stuff.
I've watched the first episode of Mandalorian, by the way.
I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've been a bit busy. Apparently, I've heard from Nathan. He said that not much happens in it. So I think we were going to wait. Bad.
The first season 3 for episode 1 is bad of Mandalorian. Nothing happens in it.
Okay.
Barely anything.
We'll see if something happens in episode 2, and then we'll review them together.
We'll see. So this is how you kill interest in it. But the thing is, right, if we did watch and review it, we would have seen it. We wouldn't need them to say it. But now the forewarning, you've just
you've told us already. Like, we know what it's going to be now, for sure, before we even go in.
And I just want to break down their they say they enjoy emasculating male characters. But it's not woke, we swear.
Yeah, why though?
Why do you enjoy that?
Yeah. And
it's not fresh.
It's one of those things where people like to avoid the word woke, especially the people who are like in Hollywood and stuff like that. They never say the word woke.
That's because it has been rightly exposed.
It has a very bad connotation to it. And they don't like... So when you come out and just proactively say it, it's not woke.
Yeah.
That immediately just sets off alarm bells. Okay, first you're saying the word, so you know exactly what people are going to be saying and thinking, because of what the content of what you're saying is we want to emasculate them.
And so the way you can tell if this actually is truly bigoted, right, is if you flip the genders, just briefly. Imagine if they did this to female characters and said the same thing. The reason why they liked to, make mock, basically, the female characters for the sake of them being female, for fun, you would be a sexist.
Yes, you would.
You would be totally lambasted as a sexist. And so you've explained, you're doing this just because you like emasculating men, so you're a misandrist. You're a sexist.
There's nothing wrong with making fun of men or making fun of women. But when you do it...
When the story calls for it.
When you do it specifically on the lines of just being a man or being a woman, either way...
You're a bigot and sexist.
It's a problem,
Flip their language on them, because the worst thing in the world for these people are actually being exposed for the things that they accuse everyone else of, okay? Everyone else is a bigot and sexist. Well, guess what? You're the one who's actually performing the sexisms here.
And the reasoning is non-existent. Funny and fresh isn't a reason.
No, but they say they take joy in it. Yeah. They take joy in belittling men for the sake of belittling men, which is pure sexism. Because you're right about the fact that if this was in isolation and it was meant for the story, yes, you can have female characters that are just there for a joke, and as well as male characters that are there for a joke. It's been done, you could just look at the history of storytelling in cinema, and you'll find both male and female characters that are there for joke. Heaven's sake, look at Pride and Prejudice, for crying out loud.
It's usually not one of the leading characters, though.
No, but there are... Pride and Prejudice is actually so good. They have both male and female characters there that are complete doofuses. Like the mother, all right, Mrs. Bennet, and Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins is such a wonderfully dumb person. And he's there to be mocked. And So storytelling has had this for ages, but also good writers usually balance it. Because guess what? Stupidity is not a unique condition for just men or women. Right. Both are just as capable of achieving that standard.
So there's something else I want to add here. They say that Chris Pine himself wanted to look as bad as possible. Like he was making himself to the point. Hold on, I just want to. To the point, the team had to remind him he had to look heroic in some scenes. That's how much he enjoyed it.
You were laughing at me for referencing Pride and Prejudice there. That's just a sign of my culture, sir.
I was just. It reminded me of a skit I was thinking about with Pride and Prejudice. That's all. But apparently, Chris Pine loved it so much. Well,
had like. Because look, he's a Hollywood actor. Do you think he isn't woke either? There are a dime a dozen who actually are. You know,
and when you're getting paid millions of dollars, I'm sure you just don't care at that point. Mm-hmm. But to the point where the team had to say, no, you actually have to look heroic in. We want to emasculate, but even you need to look heroic in this scene. It's like,
man, this is just sounding worse and worse.
I'm sorry, but like, the core of this is like, you shouldn't even be talking about what the hell has this got to do with the movie?
Exactly.
Like nothing about the story or anything that happens or how good it is, how much effort it is, or the sets or something. It's just we want to emasculate men, man.
How could you think this is a positive promotion to your movie? Why would you say this? Apart from getting woke points, but we swear it's not woke.
Yeah,
come off that.
We did move. There is the last bit of the article where it's a word you liked saying a lot. The D&D movies venturing party.
Okay. So do you want me to read this section?
Or you can read out the title, because you'll like that.
The D&D movies adventuring party is a bit crap.
Yeah.
So they're incompetent.
Basically, that's what they're saying here, is that everybody in there is kind of a misfit and they're a bit crap. I don't know why they've phrased it.
I don't mind a story about misfits and stuff, but... You need to pull it off.
Yeah.
And doesn't look like you guys are.
And it doesn't really make sense when you say they're a band of misfits, but you want the main lead, the main woman, female lead, to be super competent.
Yeah,
it's like, well, that doesn't make them a loser then.
Well, we saw in the trailer how much of a unparalleled badass the Barbarian is. She is just suplexing everyone. And by the way, it suits a Barbarian character class. And in D&D, like... just the structure of the rules. Women can be just as tough as men in it, okay? And even though that might not be wholly realistic, but it's a fantasy adventure, and there's magic, it's fine, okay? And so I didn't blink at that, but now they're pointing out where, oh no, everyone's supposed to be a misfit when there's two female characters that are already being portrayed as hyper competent, and we're going to make jokes out of the male characters. It's the Wheel of Time all over again.
And I still think it could work if Chris Pine was, like in the trailer, if those scenes were kept to a realistic amount.
Yeah.
You know? Because adding comedic stuff when you're doing things, people do that. That's fine.
Bards can be friggin' badasses, right?
But then when it comes time when something happens and actually being heroic, that's a different story. But if you just want to make him look like an idiot the whole time.
In the fight, he's going to be ducking for cover and hiding, I bet.
Yeah.
Like, I have just him like, while everyone else is kicking ass.
The D&D movie, it's coming out this year, right?
I think so.
And now I'm not excited at all.
No. Don't, at the very least, you should wait until reviews. Don't go out and watch it and spend your hard-earned money on this that has so many red flags, okay? I mean...
it has it here. March 31st, 2023. Is that...
That's soon.
That's real soon.
Wow, I didn't know it was that soon.
Neither did I.
I was interested in watching this just personally, okay? If I wasn't reviewing anything now, it would be... No, I don't give a crap, okay? We probably will review it as part of the watch to keep you informed, to let you know if it's worth your hard-earned money.
Yeah.
Because you got to judge it on its own merits when it's out.
Yep.
It's warning signs all throughout at the moment.
Yeah, it's just going to be terrible. I know it's going to be terrible.
We'll see. And look,
it might not be as bad as
I have expected certain shows to be terrible, and they proved me wrong. We are honest, and if it's good, House of the Dragon. I was expecting House of the Dragon to be a dumpster fire, one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
Ever.
I didn't. I thought it was going to be great right from the start.
I did not, because the things that they showrunners were saying about it. Like,
Oh yeah.
they were saying it's all
That's why
agenda driven.
That's why I
and
said
when it
before,
came out,
it's so
it wasn't
crazy.
at all.
Well, if you watch it inside the episodes, it is insane.
It is opposite to woke.
Yeah.
It's based at certain points.
So what we're talking about is House of the Dragon. The actual show itself is awesome. The show is great.
Great.
But the inside the episode, it's like the behind the scenes where the directors
and actors are doing a commentary on it.
they are saying the opposite of what's
It's
actually
like they
happening in the show.
didn't even watch the show.
Yeah.
And these are the people involved in making it. It's insane.
It's crazy. It's like every time they open their mouth, it's like, you're hurting this. You're making this worse. Don't speak, please.
Look, that's a very rare exception.
Yeah.
I don't think it's this, but I've been wrong before. But still, there's enough warning signs, people. Yeah.
Was that anything?
That's it. That's the D&D. And like, they hate masculinity. That's the takeaway, right? Which is like...
Which is interesting because,
They don't-
you know, half the world is like a man.
I know.
And I don't know about them, but I like being a man. And
Me
I like
too.
being a manly man.
And there's nothing, not only is there nothing wrong with it, it's friggin' needed and necessary. When the barbarians come at the gate, you're going to bloody hope you have some toxic men to hold them off. And by the way...
Who would have thought that a bunch of men who spend their days playing with swords and bows like being men? Oh,
shock horror, right? And people think, we're not in such a world where you need strong men to divide. Have you seen the riots and conflict in the world? Holy crap, you need strong men in a society and world like now more than ever. And in actual fact, the people trying to subvert society, well, you might be able to see why they don't want the strong men to stop the subversion.
They always seem to be pretty high up on the totem pole, don't they?
It's interesting.
Fascinating. I'm sure it's a coincidence.
Yeah, just a coincidence going on. So let us know what you think in the comments below. And as always, stay on watch.